Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the week of March 24th. And apparently that camera isn't on. So we're going to wait for it to turn on here. You have this card. It says the answers you need are coming. You also have this card. It says luck is on your side. So both pretty good cards. And it is kind of like a little bit of a lucky time right now. But I feel the type of luck is like luck that we create. So you could, I actually feel like people are feeling unlucky, especially like the first 2 weeks of March. And, but really we could create our own luck if we did it. And that's what I would be doing here. The Knight of Wands is your very first card. And the Knight of Wands is about going on adventures, kind of like getting out into the world and, doing things. And that's what luck really is we just are, the people who take more chances usually end up getting lucky in life because they take more chances, they do more stuff. And, I don't think luck is necessarily like some magical thing. I think we create our own luck. And I feel the Knight of Wands definitely wants you to be doing that at this time. Apparently none of my cameras are on. What a mess. What a mess I am today here, Taurus. But there we go. So you have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is about going on an adventure and making things happen. It's also about like being willing to be spontaneous as well, which I think is another great way to create luck, is just, starting something, or, you kind of are just down to go on adventures, and you never know where those adventures could lead. And that's kind of the feeling that I'm getting on this Knight of Wands energy, is that you're just being more flexible, which I think is good for you being a fixed sign. And that flexibility really could be leading to improvements. Now, one thing I do want to say is that you have the Four of Cups right here. And the Four of Cups, he isn't accepting this new cup that's being offered to him because he has been disappointed by these other three cups right here. So the Four of Cups can say that you need to let go of past disappointments and accept new opportunities in your life so that you can be successful. Next, we have the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords says no rushing. Now, every single person has had the Knight of Swords this week, so, it is what it is, right? It could be one of those weeks where people just feel that sense of urgency to get things done. And, I would, take your time. I wouldn't rush into things. I also definitely wouldn't jump to conclusions at this time as well. I really feel this, like, if I'm being honest, I don't think that this energy will get better anytime soon. I think that there will be improvements in May. But, really, if we're being honest about the astrology and things that are going on, then I would say, people will be jumping to conclusions until, 2033, somewhere around there. Again, it's like, thank God we clear all this retrograde energy between, now in May. Basically, May is when things kind of lighten up retrograde-wise. But again, we're going to have Neptune moving into Aries this year, and then Neptune is going to retrograde back into Pisces, but at the end of the year, or basically 2026, Neptune moves into Aries, which is definitely kind of like a jumping to conclusion type energy, but it's more kind of like specific than that, Taurus. And the reason I'm talking about this with you is because you have the Emperor, Aries, showing up in your reading, and it's definitely speaking to me as a reader, about that kind of like Neptune and Aries energy. With Neptune and Aries, I believe that people will be looking for a savior. It's like you kind of already see this right now, where it's like people are looking for a person who has all the answers. Neptune is kind of like a weird planet, for sure. And, I think that Neptune and Aries is teaching people that you have the answers to all of your problems or whatever you're dealing with. So, I would kind of like get into the habit of listening to yourself, right? You have the Five of Swords. Five of Swords is a card of separation. It can represent loss or walking away from something. I'm not too worried about it because you have the Ace of Wands right here. Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. And the Ace of Wands would just, like, you could be walking away from something, but the Ace of Wands is an amazing card. So, really, I think you're probably building something new. We even have the Tower at the end here. The Tower is coming up in the good stuff, which would be, obviously is a good thing. We don't want it anywhere else in the reading, right? But the Tower can come up, especially in the good stuff. It can say that you are rebuilding, or, the Tower always gets reduced down to its foundation, and we always rebuild it stronger. So you could be in that rebuilding phase. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Yes, I think that there could be an opportunity or something coming in for you that you are going to want to accept into your life. You have that Four of Cups right next to it. It's probably something you've done before or you've tried before. I see this a lot right now. I mean, the two retrogrades, Mercury and Venus, both retrograding back in Pisces. I think something that people are forgetting is that we also have the North Node in Pisces. North Node is like karma, your karmic path, your journey through life. Some people say that the North Node is the head of the dragon. It's like the direction you're going in, right? And so I feel that a lot of us. But what I want to say with this is that I think we are in a time of reinvention. We could be taking old ideas, making them new again. So it's kind of like we're doing the same things we've done in the past with our life, but it's almost like the universe is giving us a second chance not to screw up this time. Maybe that's a better way to put it, right? So it's like if you've tried to do something in the past and it hasn't worked, it's like almost like the universe is really giving people that chance to try again. With the Knight of Swords, you have the World. This could be movement just in general. The Knight of Swords isn't all bad. The Knight of Swords can represent momentum. And so if you are doing things that are creating positive momentum, positive movement in your life, then I would keep doing those things. The World is a card of accomplishments. But I kind of see this as like little accomplishments. So like, again, if there are like little things that you've been doing that are leading to some sort of progress in your life, I would keep doing it. If you don't have something, then I would get started on something. Just like, not to talk about myself too much, but I recently started writing every single day, every single morning. I do write, I wrote before this, but I didn't take it very seriously, right? And so I've been taking it very seriously for a little bit over a month now. And it's already in a very short period of time, it's really kind of given me a lot more ideas. It's like helped me flesh out some ideas and make some ideas better. It's been very helpful. So I look at this Knight of Swords in this World card as maybe you coming up with some sort of kind of like easy daily practice or something that you do that kind of moves you forward. With the Five of Swords, you have the Four of Swords. Yeah, make sure you're resting, relaxing, recovering. I mean, still two retrogrades. We have an eclipse coming up on the 29th and, everything else that's going on. So I would make sure that you're resting, relaxing, recovering, taking time for yourself, healing, all that other good stuff. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this dream job card. It says, did you ever think you could get paid just for being yourself? That is kind of like a good description of the reading. Ace of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Emperor, the King of Pentacles. These are all, this reading really is another Taurus, all about you reading, right? And so a lot of you, this is, it's clear to me it is about work because of the Eight of Pentacles showing up here. And a lot of you could be getting a second chance to do that. You have this walk away card. It says, what you're doing now isn't working for you, but are you willing to walk away to make room for something better? Five of Swords in your first row. The Five of Swords, sometimes we have to cut our losses, right? And we have to say, what, certain things aren't working, certain things are working. And I think Knight of Swords with the World is saying, pay attention to momentum. Where do things, where do you see progress? And that's what I would be really focusing on with those two cards. Next, you have the Four of Cups, the King of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands. The Four of Cups is about past disappointments. And again, the Four of Cups is kind of like another clue that you could be trying something again. I mean, never mind the fact that you also have the Six of Cups, but, the Four of Cups, he's tried something like 3 times, and now he's getting an opportunity to try something again, but he's afraid to accept it into his life. The trick with the Four of Cups is to realize that these 3 cups contain the ingredients for success. He has learned all these lessons. I always say, like, if he's trying to manifest a cake, he's disappointed because he's manifested, the flour, the sugar, the eggs, everything he needs. But what he needs to realize is he just has to mix it together and pop it in the oven. And if he does that, he will be very successful. You show up here as the King of Pentacles. Whenever you show up as yourself, it puts you in a position of power and strength. Just kind of like another clue for me as a reader that this reading is all about you, Taurus, again, which is good. The King of Pentacles is very focused on stability, and he's also, I look at him as a card of permanence. He likes to create things that last forever in his life, relationships, businesses, work positions, health routines, anything he's doing, he looks for kind of like the stable option, something that's going to last. And, I definitely feel that's been a focus for you for a very long period of time. I do feel pretty good about him in your reading because you have the Eight of Pentacles right next to him. And the Eight of Pentacles is like straightforward, diligent work. Maybe that would be a good word for you to focus on here, Taurus, is like straightforward results, right? The Knight of Swords can be a little distracting. Like I said, he can be rushing and all this other stuff. But Eight of Pentacles is, X equals Y. If I take this action, I get this result. It's very straightforward results, plain and simple. So I feel that looking at your life and focusing on the things that give you just like a straightforward result is going to be the best thing for you. You have the Ace of Wands here. The Ace of Wands can represent out with the old and with the new. This castle back here is crumbling. It represents, working on something new. I always say that the Ace of Wands can be like a spark. It's kind of like a spark of inspiration or a spark of hope coming in for you. But the thing about a spark is you have to keep putting wood on that fire to get it to grow. So I always encourage people, like if you have a spark of inspiration or an inspirational idea at this time, I would start feeding it with wood, with your energy, right? And see where it goes. And, we look here and we have the Eight of Pentacles to the Emperor. This is like a little bit of a boss vibe going on for you here, Taurus, where you could be bossing up or you could be stepping up into a boss position here with this Ace of Wands, or, whatever it is that you're building with these cards here. And I would just keep feeding it with energy. With the Four of Cups, you have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands would be having the confidence to try something again. Queen of Wands is really the card of learning as you go. She doesn't necessarily know how she's going to accomplish something. She is following the sun. She has this sunflower here, and the sunflower points towards the sun, or towards her love, joy, happiness, peace, good feelings. And that's the direction that she always moves in. And so she needs to move towards the sun to be successful. And I feel that for a lot of you here, Taurus, where like moving towards the sun would be a really good idea with the Queen of Wands. Moving towards things that make you feel joyful. And, that's what I would do. With the King of Pentacles, you have the Hangman. Hangman, of course, is stuck in Hangman mode. But the Hangman is about gaining new perspectives on your work with the King of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles. He's hanging upside down from this tree, and his head is glowing here on the card. So the head glowing represents the fact that he has gained enlightenment on what he needs to do, like what his next step should be. So he took a little bit of a pause, but now he knows like what he needs to do. So I would maybe you have been on pause. We have the Four of Swords right here, and any new perspectives would be very beneficial. I will say that with Pluto and Aquarius, we are in a time of new perspectives. We have to look at things from other perspectives. Also, Jupiter and Gemini, anything that you want to expand in your life, you're probably going to have to kind of see all the options that exist. So that would be good as well. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Three of Swords. I feel this is fear. We have the Three of Swords twice in the reading. Three of Swords is, heartbreak, sadness. Three of Swords is really a card of forgiveness. We have to remove those swords from our own heart, and if we do that, then we forgive past situations, then we'll be able to move forward. We'll be able to get out of it, whatever it is. And so I think it's going to be very important for you to forgive yourself for things that you didn't do, or forgive other people for whatever they did to you, because that healing will allow you to put the work in with that Eight of Pentacles. Next, you have this focus card and this accept responsibility card. Yeah, it is a time of focus. Again, Knight of Swords. I mean, the Knight of Swords in your reading, I definitely feel, that unfocused energy. I'm not saying that you are unfocused. I just feel like he is unfocused in your reading. He is jumping to conclusions. So, like I said, I think no jumping to conclusions. Keeping your head on straight would be a great idea. I kind of feel like you are accepting responsibility for things that have happened in your life, because you have that Eight of Pentacles. It's and the Three of Swords. Part of forgiveness is accepting responsibility and forgiving yourself. So I feel a lot of you are just working through that. You have the Six of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Three of Wands. Six of Cups can be a card of innocence and nostalgia, thinking about the past, thinking about things that happened to you in the past, thinking about things you went through in the past. And with all the retrograde energy, it doesn't surprise me that, the Six of Cups would come up in your reading. But with this Six of Cups, it can also represent kind of like getting a second chance. And like I said, this is kind of a second chance reading, I feel, for you, Taurus, where it's like you could be doing something again. And I feel that's really what this card is talking about. Six of Cups encourages you to take like a childlike approach to anything that you're doing again. And so what I mean by that is like being more playful with it, asking a lot of questions, being willing to be curious about anything new that you're working on. I would also protect your ideas. These two children, they are being guarded by this guard right here, and they're also inside these castle walls on the card. So it kind of says if you are working on an idea or anything in your life at all, be more playful with it, be childlike, but also don't be careful who you share what with, right? And as long as you do that, you'll be fine. You have the Eight of Pentacles. I get a very straightforward energy with this Eight of Pentacles. We kind of already talked about it. You have this Focus card in this row as well, but he is very focused. He is only working on one thing, and he's almost done. He just has one more pentacle right here to complete, and he will be done. So I think that working on like one thing at a time would be very beneficial for you. And working on one project or one idea, or if you're working on your health, like improving one thing at a time and staying focused is what is going to lead to results. The thing with the Eight of Pentacles is it represents material success on the horizon, basically results coming in the future. So, the work you do now is going to pay off really nicely in the future. That is also kind of the challenge with the Eight of Pentacles, is sometimes we don't see results right away. So I would, like I said at the beginning of the reading, I was feeling something about, it's like if you could develop some sort of daily practice, or, I was talking about me writing, or, if you could do something that gets you closer to your goal, just like one step, I think every single day would be very helpful with this card. Next, you have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands kind of says, like, what are you waiting for? He's looking off into the future, and he sees these boats on the water here, and he needs to get on those boats and go on an adventure. Like, he sees the opportunity in front of him, but he actually has to go take advantage of the opportunity. And I would definitely encourage that with this reading. Like, the Ace of Pentacles, the Four of Cups, if you're being presented with an opportunity, I wouldn't like wait around. Like, I know during retrograde times, people think they can't start things and all this other stuff, but it's like actually not true. And this looks like an opportunity that you've done before anyway. So if you have done what you're about to do before, or if you've worked on something similar, it's not really that big of a deal during a retrograde time. So, I would get started. With the Six of Cups, you have the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles is holding on too tightly to the past. So, but I feel like you need to let go of those old stories of you not being successful, of things not working for you, and all that other stuff. I would let all that go here, Taurus, with the Four of Pentacles. I'm not getting much. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Temperance card. So we see a lot of mixing energy in this reading. Four of Cups, Hangman, Temperance. Temperance is a card of alchemy, turning one thing into another. It's almost like the reading itself is just saying that, like, whatever you're hesitating on doing, Ace of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, whatever you're thinking about working on, if you could just see it from a new perspective, I think it would make whatever you're about to do much more possible. I think sometimes that's all we have to do in life is, if we're not getting started or taking advantage of an opportunity, sometimes I feel we just need to change the perspective or like how we are looking at something, because when we do that, it becomes a lot more possible. And I feel this reading is also saying, it's time to make something possible for yourself. And that's what I would do with the Temperance card and everything else. With the Three of Wands, you have the Five of Swords. Yeah, the eclipse. I will say, I think that Virgo eclipse we just had was challenging in general. I think it asked pretty much everyone to walk away from something, whatever. And it came up in pretty much everybody's readings. So the Three of Wands, he's standing in his comfort zone. Four of Pentacles, he's holding on too tightly to his comfort zone. So I feel this is asking you to, separate yourself away from something that has kept you comfortable, because comfort isn't always necessarily a good thing. It's like, if you're comfortable laying around in your bed all day, sure, maybe you would be comfortable, but at the same time, you wouldn't get anything done. So you would actually end up being very uncomfortable. So comfort isn't always the answer. And, I kind of feel this is encouraging you to take that risk. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this crescent moon card. It says, as the moon grows, so can your wealth, health, and happiness. Stay positive. You have this bare tree card. It says, don't waste your energy or efforts on something that is clearly not bearing fruit. Yes, if something isn't working, don't do it. Like I said, 8 of Pentacles is a straightforward result. I literally said X equals Y a minute ago. So, I think the things you need to pay attention to are things that are working. You have the Emperor, the Three of Swords, and the Tower. I feel like the Emperor is you bossing up here in this reading. I feel like you are in a, kind of getting ready, if you haven't already. You're getting ready to take the lead in your life. And even if you're retired, even if you're 90 years old, doesn't matter. I always get comments from 90-year-olds, and I believe that it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're still walking around, you still have time. You're not dead yet. In a couple of years, sure, rip, to the 90-year-olds out there. But at the same time, you still have time. So even if you only have a year left, it's why not make the best of it? And I feel the Emperor could be you really bossing up and taking control of something in your life. Like I said, it could be anything. It could be your health. It could be your wellness. That card says, the Crescent Moon one says, wealth, health, and happiness. So it could be any area of your life. And that's what I would do with the Emperor. You have the Three of Swords, which again is good because it's showing up in the good stuff. So also having the Three of Swords in your reading, it's kind of like saying you are doing things to forgive the past, or you are doing activities or things to, heal your past. And I think that is probably a good thing with the Three of Swords. You have the Tower. Tower in the good stuff kind of, to me, represents rebuilding. So you've already had a Tower moment, most likely, and you could just be rebuilding from that Tower moment, or you are doing things to improve your situation as well. The other thing I'm getting here is, if you have, if you're trying to get, a leadership position in work or business or whatever, because we have all this leadership energy in your reading, this could be a leadership position, opening up at your business or your career, wherever you work. And so you might be seeing a manager step down or a boss quitting. And if that is happening for you, you could step up into that position. With the Emperor, you have the Justice card. The whole entire reading can be summed up with do what works, right? Justice is cause and effect. Justice puts energy into something. If it works, then justice keeps putting in energy into what's working. If it doesn't work, justice stops. And justice is also about taking a neutral perspective to something. I've known a lot of people in my life. I'm not calling anyone out here. I get it, but where it's people will say things to me like, "Oh, that doesn't work," right? I wish I had a better example, but people will say, I'll bring up an idea, and people will say, "Oh, that doesn't work." But there are tons of people that it does work for. So it's sometimes I think we just get fixed on an idea. We think there's no way that works, even though there's probably plenty of examples of it working. And so the Justice card says, instead of saying that, just experiment, try things, see what works, see what doesn't, and that'll be good. With the Three of Swords, you have the Two of Pentacles. Part of healing is having fun, number one. So, I feel for a lot of you, the Two of Pentacles is work hard, play hard. In the good stuff, the Two of Pentacles can say it's time to have more fun. It's time to enjoy yourself more. It's time to take care of yourself more, do things that you love to do more. And I feel if you do that, then things will go very, very well with the Two of Pentacles. So Two of Pentacles, work hard, play hard. With the Tower, you have the Magician. Yes, the Tower can kind of be a card of reinvention. The Magician definitely is a card of reinvention. He has this snake wrapped around his waist right here. And that snake represents the Ouroboros, which it represents reinvention. And the Tower kind of can come up with when we're reinventing ourselves. He's pointing, we're going to say to this card right here, it says, oh, you cannot make that up, Taurus. It says focus. It's difficult to be productive when your energy is scattered in so many directions. You have 2 cards that say focus on it. And you have the Eight of Pentacles, which is focus. So definitely a good week for you to, focus with this energy. Even the Magician is a card of focus. He focuses on what he wants. He focuses on what he is trying to manifest. So I think that would be really good for you. You have this hat card that says you will be playing a different role. We literally said that some of you could be stepping up into leadership positions, taking the lead, all that other good stuff. You have this bird perched. It says waiting for news, package, or letter. A lot of people this week have had these cards of like news. So, it could just be a week where people are getting news or hearing back about whatever they're doing, right? You have this man card, dark man. It says dealings or relationships with a man with dark complexion or hair. You have this bread card. It says period of prosperity and abundance. So there you go. This could, it's a great time for like mentors as well. So if there are people who are important to you in your life, those people could have great advice or guidance for you at this time. You have this weeping willow. It says family sorrow on it. I feel a lot of you've been getting this card with me, I'm pretty sure, for a long time. So if there are family issues, I actually feel it's a good time to correct family issues, and you could be working on that. You do also have the Three of Swords, so you could be forgiving past family as well. I think I said this in your mid-monthly reading that I just did for you, Taurus, where it's like a lot of Tauruses, I think, are breaking free from the bullpen. It's like you're a bull stuck in a tiny little pen, and Taurus's job is to that bullpen for Taurus is usually things that happened to you many years ago that you need to release. You have this peacock. It says beware of great pride, and you have this June card. I always clarify these monthly cards, so I would be between now and June, which makes sense. I would be careful of like cocky and arrogant people just in general. But this looks really good here, Taurus. I like it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.